Good evening, everyone. This is Medicine for Your Soul, and I am your host, Carolyn Jones. I'm a holistic health practitioner and hold certifications in acupuncture detoxification. I'm an herbalist, aromatherapy specialist, flower essence practitioner, reflexologist, and I operate through sound therapy and spiritual care. My website is www.behealed.info. And each week, we try to pick up the pieces of our lives with the study of flower essences. I've written Pick Up Your Bed and Walk, Incantations, and Medicine for Your Soul, which is the book that we are going through with this series. We talk about essential oils, hydrosols, and flower essences, and we will be giving you over the period of this year all 20 recipes that are featured in the book in order to help you create your own recipes for emotional balance. And today, our topic is love. So, the formula for all of this, we'll start with essential oils. Essential oils are highly concentrated plant extracts used for their therapeutic properties, and they treat skin and physical balance as well as your emotional well being. If you know a little something about essential oils, put your name in the chat and be sure to tell me where you're from and what your favorite essential oil is. And I'd love to know if you've ever used hydrosols. Hydrosols are water based, they're aromatic waters, and they contain small amounts of essential oil. They don't really have a strong scent, and they can be used as misters as well by themselves. They're gentle, as I said, water based, and they're used for mental, emotional, and spiritual support. And all three of these elements are in the recipes that I'll be showing to you. But the star of the show is flower essences. There's a wonderful history behind flower essences. And, Dr. Edward Bach fascinated me as I read his full bio, but just a short look at his life. He was a British doctor, bacteriologist, homeopath, and spiritual writer. He's known for developing Bach flower remedies, which you may have heard of Rescue Remedy that has the 5 flower formula, but they're also sold singly along with 38 other essences through the Bach Center, a form of alternative medicine inspired by classical homeopathic traditions. He noticed that people with similar emotional and personality traits tended to develop similar illnesses. So that led him to believe that disease originated first in the mind and emotions and not the body. So he had a deep spiritual worldview and he was highly intuitive. So he developed the healing system using the energetic imprint of flowers. And that was in 1934, and it stood the test of time. Dr. Edward Bach identified 7 categories of fundamental conflicts which prevent us from being true to ourselves. So when I wrote the book, instead of aiming the condition toward the main focus, I aimed what we wanted to achieve. Now, the conditions would be loneliness, oversensitivity to influences and ideas, despondency or despair, overcare for the welfare of others, fear, uncertainty, insufficient interest in present circumstances. And as I mentioned before, we're going to talk about love, which I'm sure many of us have wrestled with, philosophy behind it, the emotion behind it, and sometimes the trauma behind it. So I'd like to write a poem for each condition that we'll be talking about. each session. And here it is. Love crept in, an angel, slipping into my dreams, answering my prayers, a gentle forgiveness of self. Silence wrapped around my heart, soothing every ache, cauterizing pain, shame dissolved, fear smothered. I awakened, renewed, resurrected, restored, redeemed. I hope that resonated with you. Now let's talk about the Flower Essence Society. It's a nonprofit educational organization that was created to the research, preparation, and teaching of flower essence therapy. So they use the traditional sun infusion method, which is to harvest dew fresh flowers, float in the water, and then expose in direct sunlight for several hours to extract the vibrational imprint of the flower, which will affect the person or animal on a subtle, non chemical level. Yes, I did say animal because they can be used on pets. There's actually a special rescue remedy formula for pets. So, how do we use flower essences? We can use them orally with drops and pastelles. Pastelles are those like gummy bears. I love those because I keep a can near the bed and use it at will. Dilute it in water so you can get the drops. Topically, you can use it on the pulse points, the wrists, behind the ears, over the heart, and you can use it in your foot soaks, your baths. You can even put it in a compress, creams, oils, lotions, and I want to say poultices too. You can use it for steaming, like you would eucalyptus. You could put it in the water and steam it with a towel over your head. And misters, that's the formula that I've created for packaging in a jar, in a mister jar, or bottle, I should say. So it's water based, safe for children and pets, and it's not contraindicated for pharmaceutical medications. In other words, you could be on other medication and take them without fear of causing problems. So, as I mentioned before, Medicine for Your Soul Essential Oils, Hydrosols, and Flower Essences is a recipe book for misters, and it can be used for mind body alignment and subtle energy attunement. Great for your yoga session or your deep breathing meditations. Each session will be a deep dive into Medicine for Your Soul recipes that address emotional imbalances. And there are certainly some emotional imbalances as it relates to love. Let's look at them. Although love is an emotion that offers so much pleasure, it can become a dangerous, bitter fruit in so many ways, emotionally, psychologically, or situationally. The change in temperature usually happens in increments, gradual shifts. Romance was alive and well in 1977. That's evidenced by the release of a song by the title of Don't Ask My Neighbors by The Emotions. I don't know if you know that song, but here are some of the lyrics. You're wondering if I care about you. Is there some cause that I should doubt you? Oh, I can see, boy, that you don't know me very well. You're so unsure. And you run here and there to ask my feelings. Friends only guess, they can't say really. Don't ask my neighbors. Don't ask the friends I hang around. Don't be afraid to come to me. And so often in relationships, people are afraid to come to one another. It goes on. Don't ask my neighbors. Don't be afraid of what you see. You'll find I love you. Come to me. Come to me. Don't be afraid. I highly recommend you check it out on YouTube and listen to its beautiful music to go with the lyrics, and be sure to listen to the words. Words exchanged, betrayals of the heart, neglect, intentional abuse, resentment, an imbalance of power and growth in the relationship, and unfair expectations. Lately, there's been a lot of talk about permanent breakdowns in communication in parent child relationships as well. Not listening to one another or spending time with one another and taking each other for granted is neglectful. Nurturing becomes stifled by loneliness, unspoken hurts fester into resentment, and arguments go unresolved. And I'd love to hear your thoughts on that. So I hope you're filling the chat up with valuable, insightful information, if this is relatable. One sided decision making about money, time, or emotions can cause love to look and feel like domination and or dependency. Manipulation, gaslighting, and one-sided sacrifice scars the heart with a lifetime of grief. Grief comes in many forms. There's a significant connection between broken relationships, romantic, family, or social, and outcomes like mental illness and homelessness. The cycle of chronic stress, trauma, and loss of support culminate into 25% to 40% of people citing family conflict as the main cause for their homelessness. The percentage of family conflict and rejection is markedly higher for homelessness among youth. According to my research, domestic violence causes 1 out of 4 women to flee their abusers, leaving them without the resources they need to adequately care for themselves and their children. It's actually a scourge that really we need to take a deep look into. Not just the women, we have to look into the hearts of the men to see where this is ignited to be so prevalent in our society. Broken trust, infidelity, lying, betrayal of confidence violates the security needed for love to feel secure, even if the person chooses to stay in the relationship. It's not only unfair, it's delusional to expect an individual to feel safe under such deleterious circumstances. Early love often involves projection. When reality appears, disappointment can replace admiration. Long relationships can stagnate when curiosity and appreciation stop. And in my opinion, the biggest trap is when people stay out of duty rather than affection. It almost feels, in my mind, like a loss of life, at least the essence of life for sure. Love is not ownership. Jealousy, monitoring the other person, and isolation from friends or community are all extremely toxic behaviors that can be mistaken for genuine caring. In another 1977 release, singer Kelly Patterson released a song with lyrics that advised, if it don't fit, don't force it. Just relax and let it go. You're trying hard to shame me because you want to make me stay. But all it does is bring to mind what mama used to say. If it don't fit, don't force it. Just relax and let it go. Just because that's how you want it doesn't mean it will be so. I'm sure some of you out there have heard that song. Love begins within. How you love yourself informs how you love others. Love is an action word. Consistency builds trust. Love requires attentiveness. Being seen and heard is an act of love. It grows with honesty, and truth strengthens intimacy. Love requires boundaries. Healthy limits protect relationship. Love is nurtured with patience, and people experience growth differently. Love is not possessive. True love respects freedom over control. Love needs forgiveness. Forgiveness and discernment protect true love. Love is reciprocal. Giving and receiving creates a balanced flow of care, value, and support. So we have rose for emotional opening, chicory for selfless love, bleeding heart for releasing attachment, jasmine for self worth, and star of Bethlehem for sudden shock and chronic trauma. Those are some flower essences that you can look to for the various conditions as we move into the mister of this evening. And that would be clary sage. Clary sage, isn't it gorgeous? Gorgeous, excuse me. Uh, it enhances intuition and inner vision. It helps release emotional confusion during life transitions, because you know there's plenty of confusion as change is coming. But you have to learn how to relax into change because nothing is constant except change. It also aligns the third eye and the crown chakra for spiritual insight. So that's the flower essence of the evening, clary sage. We're moving into the essential oil featuring rose. Rose opens and heals the heart chakra, and it also provides comfort in grief and trauma and softens emotional wounds, encouraging emotional rebirth. And last but not least, in the formula is neroli, neroli hydrosol, which smells delicious. Gentle, it's a very gentle scent, and it gently uplifts the spirit, eases anxiety, especially in states of overwhelm, and encourages connection to inner peace. So now we're up to what I call the Q&A section, and I like to research different quotes to stimulate thought and your emotions. And I love what Queen Afua said. She said, "Your past is not your prison; it's your curriculum. Graduate." It's very important to not stay trapped in past traumas and just keep talking about it, reliving it, and suffering from it. The whole idea is to learn from it. And as she said, graduate, see what gifts you can bring forth as a result of the trauma that you may have suffered. And everybody has had their share of trauma. And I always like to remind you, and repeat after me, please, I expect the very best in life, and I allow myself to receive it now. That is a quote from Louise Hay, who wrote You Can Heal Your Life. And if you're interested in the companion handbook, just use this QR code so that you can follow along with me. Now I'm going to travel over to the chat and see if I have any. Oh, thank you for coming, Robin. And I'd like to know really what it made you think about. You say it makes you think. What did it make you think about? And you also said you've used chicory and Star of Bethlehem, and you grow clary sage. Yes. Mm-hmm. Glitter Garden. I believe that's you, Sherry. Thank you. Uh, oh, yes. So, Robin, go to YouTube and pull it up. Um, If it don't fit, don't force it, and don't ask my neighbor. They're both very beautiful songs. It's not even just, you can almost not listen to the lyrics and just enjoy the tune, the music to it. But it's the lyrics I feel are very important. They have a strong message. And you say love speaks to you like pure joy. Yes, love is your name. That's wonderful. You know, we should all adopt that name and embody it to make life a lot easier for us. So, as we move forward in medicine for your soul, um, we have new emotions to explore. And I would like, it doesn't matter whether you speak on it during this live or while it's on demand, because this show is on demand on YouTube and Facebook at the Magical Witchy World channel site. And, after you ingest the information, really let me know what you feel, because next session we'll be talking about trust. And, without trust, love can't find footing. And I would really like to have us look at trust and what that really means and why it's such a strong ingredient in the world of love. I'm looking for any other comments. All right, so if we don't have anything else, what I'd like to do is invite you to come and enjoy this time with me, to go through our emotions in a very serious way, in a very intentional way, and see if we can't invoke healing for ourselves and for others. Because what we want ultimately is peace in all of those areas. We deserve peace. So thank you very much for coming, and I look forward to seeing you next time. Love life, live, and live life, love. Good night.